3, 2, 1. Yo, what's poppin'? It's your boy Torn.
Yes, sir. You know what time it is. I'm the voice of the South, Q.Smitty with Polar Joqs, giving you that cool rush. And we got a very special guest in the building, man. Give it up for BK.
This episode is sponsored by 1186. Drink with a purpose.
Tell them a little bit more about him, Ace.
So, yeah, man, we got a marketing specialist in the building. You know what I'm saying? He got a big position with Google. Also been on TED Talk. You know, the man been making moves in the city. And also, too, he can help you a lot, whatever you got going on in business-wise. Y'all just tune in and see what's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to introduce you, Gilberto!
I appreciate y'all for having me, man.
For sure, man. I like to, practice my Spanish. So it's Gilberto, right?
That's a fact.
Hey, all right.
Gilberto.
Gilberto.
Yeah.
That's
Look
what's
at
up,
him,
man.
bro. You with that voice and you speaking Spanish, you trouble.
I'm trying, man.
He trouble.
Hey,
Yeah,
man.
you trouble, bro.
Just give me a little guitar or whatever playing in the back and some tacos. I'm good.
It's over with.
Introducing the RPM 23, the car that combines power, innovation, and style. Drive through the night with confidence thanks to our latest technology that adapts to any condition with its sleek body and cutting-edge features. The RPM 23 is the ultimate driving machine. Get behind the wheel and experience the RPM 23 today.
So we're gonna start from the beginning, man. The base, the foundation of you, where you from.
Yeah, so I grew up in Brooklyn, but I was actually born in Panama, the country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so raised by my grandparents. So my grandfather, back then he was the man. They called him Don, the Don.
The Don.
Yeah, so he was that traditional guy. My grandmother didn't work. He owned several businesses, and my grandmother took care of the crib.
Mm-hmm.
Now she had a little side hustles. I hope I could say this, Grandma, without you getting mad at me, but she used to run like lotto numbers and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so she still had a little hustle, but for the most part, she never worked. She don't even drive. My grandfather did everything, financially, all that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And on the weekends, I would go to work with him. He had a paint shop, and, I would spend the weekends with him. And he also raised horses. He used to have a farm with horses, like a stable.
So he a real hustler then.
Yeah. He used to bet on horses, all that.
Yeah.
He had show horses, race horses, all that. So shortly after that, my grandmother became a minister, and that lifestyle became an issue for her.
Mm-hmm.
So then we migrated to Brooklyn.
Hey, what is it about New York when it comes to like people from like the Caribbean or like South America, different places like that, who like to migrate there for like bigger and better opportunities? Because I've noticed like it's like a hub for a lot of foreigners, you know what I'm saying, from Jamaica, from Trinidad, Tobago, all
That's
these
a
different
fact.
places. So like, what is it about what was it about New York, according to your family, that made them want to move to Brooklyn?
Well, I don't know why we all like to migrate there, but I know we had family there. So my aunts, my mom was there. They already were established. So when I was younger, my mom, left Panama and came to the States.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, to further her career, get a better life. Then she got married and then settled for a little bit.
Gotcha.
And I stayed with my grandparents. But my aunts, all my grandmother's kids except her son, stayed in Panama, but they all left and came to, the States.
Gotcha.
And they all happen to be in New York. That's as far as I know. But I think, like, with the history, like Ellis Island and all that, and it's, you got water right there, so it's just easy to come through there, Miami, places like that.
Now, marketing specialist, before you became a marketing specialist, you had a very interesting past, you know what I'm saying? Can you tell us a little bit of detail about what it was like for you coming up in New York?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. I don't shy away from it. So, I came up in an era in New York in the late 90s, early 2000s when gangs hit New York hard. So everybody from my neighborhood was Crip. So, naturally, my big homies was Crip. That's what I gravitated to. But in New York, it's a little different. So here, most of the time, you go to your zone school. In New York, when you're in the 7th grade, they give you a book. And you get to choose like 8 or 9 high schools that you want to go to.
Dang, I wish I could have done
They
that.
give you a book you could choose.
Yeah, you pick all the high schools. You get to pick which ones you want to go to. So I used to draw. Like, I still could draw a little bit, but not as good as I used to because I don't do it as often. I went to this school called the High School of Graphic Communication Arts. So I lived in Brooklyn, but I went to high school in Manhattan. And I had to, I thought I was going to a good school. I was trying to get away from all that, like naturally, because even in middle school, I didn't go to my zone school. I went to a school that was gifted, but I just so happened to be on the nonsense and brought the gang stuff to the school.
And Manhattan is a good area, so I heard.
Manhattan is huge. So
You got Harlem in there.
You got Harlem. You got the Lower East Side, Upper East Side. You got Washington Heights.
Gotcha.
Those areas, is no different than being in the hood.
Why you think why you think New York embraced like the Crip and Blood culture after a while? Because for a second, the media kind of played this whole East Coast versus West Coast beef, and then all of a sudden, you started noticing like more people from New York repping Blood and Crip and stuff like that. Why do you think they embraced it after a while? What you think about it?
Man, I think it had a lot to do with the music, and at the time when we embraced it, Snoop came out with the East Siders, and he was heavily. That's when the C-Walk first came out, so it's like a culture thing.
Yeah.
But at the time in New York, it was way more Bloods in Brooklyn than it was Crips. And I'm speaking. This is the first time I'm speaking openly on this stuff. I don't even talk about this stuff. So long story short, I went to the school thinking I'm getting away from all that because it's a good school. The first day of school, I'm seeing like a million red flags. So
I bet you like, God dang,
I'm in trouble.
here we go.
Man.
But when I got there, I seen a couple people from my neighborhood, and they like, even though it's a bunch of Bloods, they respect them. So when I seen them, and the dude that put me on, actually, God bless his dad. His name is. This is the first time I'm saying this publicly. His name is Paul Evers Frazier. They used to call him Edge. He was like running the school, and there was like 4 or 5 of us that everybody knew was like not scared to let niggas know. Like, I hope I could,
No, be free.
Yeah, do your thing, man.
Yeah, like not let people know like this is what we about. Now, granted, it came with some issues. Like in the school, nobody messed with us, but we stepped outside the school. We still in the Blood area. Manhattan, at the time, that's when Dipset was popular. They Bloods. The Bronx is right near the area, full of Bloods. So I started getting in a lot of trouble because I wasn't shying away from what I rep. And then of course, I got the light skin syndrome. I'm the smallest. I'm the prettiest guy. Even though I'm the enemy, they girls like me. So that used to cause a lot of problems.
So why Crip?
Because that's what my whole neighborhood. If you from Brooklyn and you grew up in Crown Heights or Flatbush, at that time, those were the Crip neighborhoods. And I'm from Crown Heights. So if my friends see this video, they'll know what's up.
How long were you there?
So I left there like shortly after that. My
Yeah,
family
right
was
after
like,
that.
so at that time my mom migrated to Alabama, and I stayed in New York because I was like, I'm not coming to Alabama. You bugging? You know what I mean? I know. All I could think about is, country dirt roads and overalls and pickup trucks.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But and I would come visit her from time to time. I did like the fact that you could walk in the store and get a pair of Jordans at 6 in the evening, and they still have a full size run in New York. That was not happening. So I would come over here, visit her, and do a little shopping, and go back home. But it got to a point where, like, we was getting in a lot of trouble just because of that gang shit, and my family was like, "Nah, we gotta move you out of that."
Dang, what was the pivotal gang moment in your life that was like, yo, man, I think I'm not really rocking with this no more? Because some people be so deep in it.
It was never a pivotal moment where I said I wasn't gonna rock with it. I was like all in because all my friends, all my big homies, that's who I looked up to, who I rock with every day. That's what they was about. So if they on it, we on it. They had to move me out of that environment because, like, I got a friend of mine that's in jail right now for doing life. If you go to Brooklyn and you hear Schemes, everybody know who he is. He doing life behind the gang shit. So I can imagine where I would be.
So from where you at now, from where you came from, do you think it was worth to get in the game?
Hell no. I mean,
At the time.
So I will tell you, one of the things that I learned there was structure, because you had ranks. The big homies ran. You looked up to them, but you had to aspire to be like them, and you had to. We used to call it putting in work. You had to put in work to earn your stripes. Just like what you do at work. But it's definitely not worth it, bro. I mean, one of the 48 laws of power, I don't know if you ever read that book, but if you pick a side, you automatically make enemies. So me repping that, automatically, you know, I could be flagged up anywhere and don't know who the enemy is. You know, so that's how that works.
That's the law of the land.
Yeah, man, that's
Different type of territory. So what made you transition into the game, going into the business world? Was it a transition far as like, I got to do something different, or shifting to get ugly?
Not even that. So when I moved here, I was still kind of on it, but it was a lot different here though. You know what I mean? Like everybody coexisted. You just did it just because you ain't seen nobody fighting for real.
right.
You know what I mean? Here was just like, how can I get some money? You know what I mean? And cause in New York is a fashion show, bro. Like, you know, when I move here, like I'm rocking $500 Maury sneakers.
Yeah.
You know, that at the time Coogee was popping. I got every Coogee sweater you could think of, Iceberg. You know, that was that era. And then I come here and I'm looking at people with like Reeboks with the fat boy shoelaces and the Dickies, and I'm like, nah, this ain't me. I was getting suspended like every month because I didn't wear the uniform. You know, I came from a world where like, nah, we get fly to go to school.
Get super fly. Yeah. New York, I ain't gonna lie, man. Y'all known for the fashion, for
You
sure.
see what I'm saying? So, but I had an issue, and you know, I don't really talk about this a lot. So remember, I was born in another country.
Yeah.
I came to this country on a visiting visa when I was a kid with my grandmother. Never left. Remember, I just supposed to came to visit. Never left. So as I started trying to do stuff here, they would ask me for something called a social security number. So I'm like, I don't know what that is. So I go home and ask my mom, like, yo, what's this? That's like, oh, by the way, you ain't got one yet. So while everybody was doing the traditional stuff like driving, getting jobs, applying for college, because I'm not legal in the country, I couldn't do none of that. So, you know, of course, I still like to do certain things. So I had to get creative. So I did everything from breeding dogs to, you know, hustling a whole bunch of stuff. But then I met one of my mentors to this day. Is this guy named David Adair. He owned an alarm company. But what that did for me was working with him alongside him every day. I got to see Highland Lakes, Mountain Brook, Greystone. We was going in these houses, selling them alarm systems and installing them. So I'm spending a lot of time around these people and just seeing how they live. That's the first time in my life that I was able to see wealth. You know, and that's not necessarily wealth, it's just a different way of life. You know, like family structure. You know, everybody got their own room.
Cool AC,
you know
got there.
Every kid got their own pet. You know what I mean? Like they got central vacuums in their house. Like you plug the vacuum up in the wall. You don't got the regular vacuum cleaner with the cord. Nah, it's a hole in the wall. You plug it in and you vacuum and it suck everything down to the basement. Right. You know, seeing stuff like that. So I'm like, it's a different way. So I was exposed to business through him. And by the time I was able to start, you know, when I got my papers, I was able to start working quickly because I speak Spanish. So I had a friend of mine that was like, yo, the bank is hiring. I want to get you on up here. And I'm like, yo, Marla, I don't know nothing about banking. Like, I don't even got a bank account yet. You know what I mean? But she was like, don't even worry about it. I got you. Anyway, I started working my way through the bank and became a banker quickly. But I realized, you know, at the time, they didn't make no money. Yeah. So I was like, you know, it's got to be a different way.
So even though you spoke another language, they still wasn't willing to give you a higher
Well, it's just you know, it's not that they weren't willing to. It's just, you know, they set budgets. You know, and that position is at the bottom of the barrel because, you know, you literally just a glorified transaction person. You're not really helping people financially. You opening up bank accounts and telling you and doing whatever the bank tell you to do for real. You just got a suit on and you got an office.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
you just I guess the middleman, the messenger. You know what I'm saying?
Representative.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So after that, I went to college and I went and got a degree in computer electronics and telecommunications technology. That's because my family said I should. They, you know, you should be in technology. You know, you good with computers. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
So I did that. long story short, I got a job in that field. I hated it. That was the worst job of my life. I hated it so much that I went and worked for a company strictly off commission. But that was the turning point for me.
Do you feel like you were forced to go to college? Would you have gone to college had your parents not wanted you to do that?
I probably would have, but not for that. You know what I mean? It wasn't like I was in a rush because I was already a banker, making a little money. You know what I mean? I was having for the first time I was having a little fun. You know, but I skipped a whole big piece of my story is the fact that I was a father at 17, so I already had a child. You know, undocumented with a child, so I had to figure out how to take care of a child. You know what I mean? So long story short, when I worked for this company, and it was strictly commission, so I ain't getting no paycheck. I had to eat what I kill. That's when I realized, like, that's how you do it. Because I was making good money. I was making more money than the average person and getting paid faster.
Getting commission.
Then I started building a team, and I was getting residuals off of what they did. But the problem is the structure above me fell apart. And then I went and worked for Verizon for a little while and got into a little stint with one of the managers there where she told me, she was like, yo, I ain't impressed by you. Mind you, I was a top sales rep. And I left quickly. Worked for two of the top marketing firms in the nation, like the largest marketing companies in the nation. I ain't gonna say their name, but if you look through my LinkedIn, you'll see it on my profile.
So starting off with the salesman, how did you build your skills up to be the top representative?
Man, I think I've always been a salesperson. So think about it. So even when I was in the street, you know how I gained my status in the game? I would befriend my enemies' sisters and cousins, and they used to tell me all their business and tell me where to drop at, where they hide the stash, where they meet at, where they gonna be at. And I just go back to my neighborhood and be like, yo, I got an easy one for you.
Yeah.
It's gonna be here. You don't know where you got this information from. Make it seem like it wasn't us, and you should easily come out on top.
And there it is.
So, with selling, so my first taste of real sales was when I was in the bank. I literally had to cold call people, meaning never seen them, they never seen me.
I hate that shit.
I just had to pick up the phone and say, yo, I'm with this bank. We gonna be in your area next week. We would love to set up a time to talk to you, to show you some things we're doing, like with businesses like yours, to help you save money and grow your money through our products and services.
Man, I did cold calling. Man, it's low key fun after a while, you know.
Yeah.
Especially once you know that you can convince somebody off of somebody who don't know you. You know what I'm saying? And you just got that gift of gab to be able to just convince them, hey, yo, I need this product right now. You know what I'm saying? Just let them know, hey, I'm working with this person over here. Like, they getting this money, you know what I'm saying? I need you to get some too, you know? It's crazy.
But what I learned is you got to talk to a lot of people.
A lot of people. Yeah, that's the only thing. That's the downside.
The law of averages. You got to talk to a lot of people to get that yes. You're going to learn to not take no personal, move on quick, get to that next person. But sales, because I was great at sales, it allowed me to get into marketing because I started selling marketing. And once I started selling marketing, then I transitioned into real estate. And I was going to leave marketing completely alone. As I was building my real estate portfolio. But then the people I started doing work for called me back and was like, yo, I don't like this person that's managing my stuff. Can you help me? So I had to figure it out.
And that's how it went.
But you knew your worth too. You didn't just sit around and just expect this manager to believe in you. You know what I'm saying? How important is it for you to just take that risk and just bet on yourself like that?
Yeah, well, even when I was working, first of all, I always looked at it as they're paying me to learn something. There was always an end goal. You know what I mean? I was never bought into the company so much that I was just loyal to them.
So that's how you look at it in a way. You look at it as the company paying you to come learn this.
Absolutely. When I didn't know marketing when I sold it.
Yeah.
They had to train me to be able to sell those. You know, they had to pay for me to, learn all the things that I know now.
So let me ask you this question. So why do you think the average person or other people think I got to go to job to make the money? They paying me to do this job.
Because that's how we condition. First of all, school teaches you to be a flunky. School sucks the life out of you. The way, if you look at the history of the way the school system is built, it was built by people who wanted a bunch of factory workers. And if you want to take the life out of people, it takes about 12 years.
Damn.
So they sit you down for 12 years and teach you stuff that you're not interested in. They condition you to take orders. They condition you not to go look for answers yourself. And by the time you get out, you're conditioned to want you to seek help from them. You know, and then in school, you know, you get the answers to the test first, and then you study it, you memorize it, then you take the test, and you're striving for that A+, right? In life, you take the test first, and then you get the answers. You know what I mean? So that's why you hear, you know, a lot of A and B students, you know, they work for C students. You know, even when I was at the bank, I used to work with this guy. He had a degree from Bama, and he used to brag about that all the time, but he would always get passed up for opportunities. Like, we would move up quicker than he would. Why? Because all he had to bank on was that degree. He didn't develop no people skills, no soft skills. His attitude was trash. He was entitled. You know what I mean? He would cause work, and the higher ups would see it. Meanwhile, me, I ain't never had a silver spoon like that. So, you know, I grind my way to where I was at. But I always knew that in order for me to get somewhere, I had to get people to like me.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And that comes with treating people well and showing, you know, learning what's important to them.
So when you say you sell marketing, how do you sell marketing to people?
Well,
as a market specialist.
Well, I mean, put it like this. You know, I help coaches, consultants, service providers, you know, business owners, you know, grow and scale their business by putting them in front of the right customer at the right time with the right message, which in turn allows them to say, hey, take my money. So if most of us are passionate about our business, right? We know we got this amazing product and we got this amazing service. But the problem usually is we are horrible at communicating that value to our customers. Why? Because we don't communicate in a way that matters to them. People don't care about your product or service. They care about what you can do for them. If you don't communicate that to them, they'll never buy from you. And that's what I teach business owners.
Why do you think black people have customer service issues?
I think it's not just a customer service thing. I think because of everything we've been through, and we get in a position where we finally are proud of ourselves, it gets to us. And we don't realize that we get in business to serve a customer. You've created this business or this service or whatever because you saw a need in the marketplace. And it's your duty as a business owner to provide value to that customer frequently, consistently, as much as possible. But a lot of us, because, you know, you think about it, bro, what we go through growing up. And then we make it, and we finally are in control of our destiny.
Most of us really didn't come from nothing.
Exactly.
You know, like
so
70, 80%.
Breaking generational curses and stuff.
Yeah, so it's not just a customer service thing, man. It's just, hey, man, we proud of who we are. And, you know, that's just my opinion. It's just in my experience. But we don't see the backlash of it, especially if we getting a little money. Yeah, it's like, man, forget you. I got somebody else coming through tomorrow. But eventually you get a bad reputation and people ain't coming. Because, you know, a customer, if they had a bad experience, they're going to tell somebody quicker than if they had a good experience. You got to pull the good experience out of them. You know what I mean? You got to entice them to tell others the good.
Right.
But if they got a bad experience with you, they telling the whole world.
Telling the whole world. Man, that's crazy how that turns out.
So I want to start so far as like, just for example, if you got a service, a person right now has a service, they don't know how to present it to people,
right?
Or they don't know how to go by selling it. How should they? What their first step should be?
They need to learn who their customer is, like to the T. You need to really hone in on who you looking to serve. Like, not just, hey, it's a 40-year-old woman. Like, you need to know how they think. You need to know why they buy. You need to know where they consume information, where they congregate at, where they hang out at, what are their fears, frustrations, what are their goals, what do they want for themselves, what do they want for the people around them, what do they have right now, but what do they want? You know, you see, those are all the things that you really need to know your customer. It's like trying to date a girl, bro.
I'm just saying, like, damn, that's some deep shit you just said. How do you find out those answers from a beginner?
From a beginner, we sit down and we go through, you know, we map out your customer avatar. You know, I got a framework where I ask you a bunch of questions, or I can send it to you and you fill it out to the best of your abilities, and we go over it.
Gotcha.
Man, I've had conversations with people where they thought they were gonna serve a certain person by the end of that list. I mean that framework. They was like, man, this ain't the person I want to serve. They can't pay me.
You say you do real estate too, right?
Yeah.
Like, so between like real estate and marketing, which one would you prefer the most?
Real estate.
Why real estate?
Because you know, I mean, you can win so many ways. You can win I win in marketing, but you know, real estate brings tax advantages. You know, you can do it for cash flow. You can do it for, you know, if you want to flip, you can get you a big flip quick. I mean, there's so many different benefits to real estate. Like, the sky's the limit. And you know, if you see my man in the background right here, he's 20. He already invested in real estate, and you know, that's one of his specialties. So he's got properties. But then you can do commercial, you could do residential. You know, I mean, bro,
It's a lot. It's a
it's a
lot.
lot.
So,
but it brings a lot. Why do you think all the wealthy people usually have real estate?
yeah.
Because of the tax benefits. And this is not financial advice. This is not tax advice. Before you take anything that I say as it relates to this to heart, go talk to your tax advisor, your accountant, an attorney, somebody along those lines. So I just want to make that clear so y'all don't get flat.
Nah, you good. So, for example, all right, so you say you're 20 years old. And what's your name again? Chad. All right, so Chad, 20 years old. Say you got somebody just graduated from high school. They want to do the same thing he's doing, maybe a year or two from now. How do they get into the real estate game without no money? Or do you got to have money?
Not
Come
talk.
talk.
Come to the mic, bro. So this is one of the things that you don't see often, bro. Like, I keep him around me every day. He's with me every day. And this is what I do. Why I do what I do. Why? Because the world is hard for black men, right?
Yeah.
So if we don't grab them early and lay the pathway and the foundation for them, then who will? So go ahead, bro. Look, he stumbled up on the podcast.
Nah, don't shake him up, man. Let the man be
Look at him.
free, man.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. So, like I said, you know, I'm 20 years old. So you said for someone coming out of high school.
Yeah, say high school, man. They even your age. You know, they right now they confused, but they really want to get in real estate, but they ain't got nothing about $200 in their checkings, maybe $5 in their savings.
Okay. What I say is, because that's really been my biggest thing this year, has been an entrepreneur, a real estate investor, handling a lot of no's, because I'm 20 years old. You don't have the tax returns, the tax statements,
Right.
things like that. So that was really, you know, primarily my biggest issue. And so what I say is, if you're 18 years old, go ahead and start building your credit. Credit is one of the biggest things that you need,
Right.
because it's easier to get $100,000 leveraging your credit than saving and making $100,000.
Yeah.
And so, don't be afraid to work that 9 to 5. Work that 9 to 5. Leverage that 9 to 5. Shoot, once you work that 9 to 5, you save up so much. Start leveraging your credit score. Shoot, go to the bank. Start getting credit cards, but learn about credit cards, and not just get them just because.
Right.
Because most people, they tend to get credit cards just to increase their expenses, to go on vacation.
Yeah,
To buy the extra meals, or just put them back for just emergency purposes. You know, that's what I was taught being in an African American household.
Right.
But I soon, after a while, I just realized, hey, why can't we use that money to, better our financial situation? And so, I started learning about credit, getting in the credit game.
Yeah. What was your first credit card that helped you elevate?
First credit card that I actually got was Wells Fargo.
Yeah, you know how hard it is to get a
that,
Wells Fargo card.
Huh?
You know, it's hard to get a real, like, one of those top banks.
Yeah, I got I had a security credit card from Regions. They looked out for me though.
Oh no.
Red Wells Fargo kind of tough though.
Yeah, well, I'm saying, so man, think you young like
They
that.
tough, man.
No, but I said build a relationship.
Yeah.
You gotta do relationship banking. That's what I did to get a Wells Fargo card.
What's that?
Relationship banking is actually when you say you got a homeboy, right? And so
You build a relationship with somebody in the bank, basically. So
Yeah.
you go to the bank and you explain to them what you're trying to do, and that banker works on your behalf to help you get there.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But I say, look at it as you got a homeboy, right? And so say with this homeboy, you know, he asked another friend of his for some money.
Right.
And so, you know, like $1,000 or whatnot, you know, whoop, for whatever. And so say he doesn't return that money, now they got a bad relationship. And so that's how banks look at it. You know, taking care of, making sure that you are handling the money that they give to you, loan to you.
Right.
Because say if that same homeboy came to you, you know, asking for some more money, you'd be like, nah, man, like what happened to,
You ain't pay
you know,
me for the
so
last.
you ain't pay him. So what make you think, you know, I'm gonna loan you some money? And so just think, that's how banks look at it. That's how different lenders look at it, you know? So just making sure that you take care of your relationships, you know, with banks like you do with people.
Right.
Because that's all it is.
Yeah,
Well
I'm
said,
gonna
my
tell you
boy.
something else.
Well said, bro.
You 18, you got more time than money. You can go and learn from the best or the ones that's doing it at a high level. And because you're young, they don't mind putting you on. They don't mind giving you opportunity. They don't mind letting you behind the curtain.
Yeah.
You know, we had this conversation the other day where we both had some mutual friends and they do real estate at a high level. And he was trying to go at it a certain angle. So I was like, nah, approach it this way. And what happened? You got the call yesterday. You was all in the mix. So, you know, those type, just figuring out just because you 18 don't mean you can't add value to a situation. So you might not have the money, but you got time. You know,
You got plenty of time.
yeah. And while you don't have bills and you don't have responsibilities, start, like you said, building not just relationship with your banks, but building relationships with people that can get you to where you want to get to and fast track that success.
Facts.
So, you know, just
That's how me and him linked. I spoke at a school and he reached back out and he here.
What school you went to?
I want to call it.
Carver. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
the mentorship. Why is it so important to have like mentorship in the black community?
But it's just an important period, bro, because you learn. You know, they've been where you are, and they can help you to get to where you want to get to faster. You know, they've already made certain mistakes, and they can help you avoid certain mistakes. You know, they can make phone calls for you. They can put you in rooms with people that you probably will never have access to. You know, that can help you get to where you want to get to. You know, that at least that's what I try to do for my people. Like, anytime I got an opportunity, if they can't come, I don't do it. Yeah. It's in my contract. Like, they got to come with me. He'll tell you. I spoke at a dinner the other night. They was all there with me. But I'm the only one that had my people with me.
Yeah.
I'm like, you didn't ask. They ain't got nothing to do with me. They gonna come with me though.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because they got to be exposed to this early.
How many students do you have?
It's not even students, bro. It's just young dudes that's about stuff. That's hungry. So I don't even call them students. You know,
So I'm saying, what you call them then? You got
just my you know,
my young partners then.
that's my
Okay.
you know, because when you try to put a label on stuff, sometimes, bro, I'm not above them, or I don't feel like I'm greater than them. I'm just older than they are, and I've made more mistakes than they have. So, if I can give them some game to help them along the way, that's what I do, and they keep coming back. So, you know, I think I'm doing something.
Yeah. I don't even refer to people as fans. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you know how
that's
people say you're a fan. I'm like, I got supporters, you know what I'm saying? But I don't have fans.
I got a tribe. You know what I mean? Because it's my community,
Right.
and I'm gonna do everything I can to keep serving them.
Nice. I like it, man. We got Gilberto in the building, man. Appreciate you for coming through, man, falling through. But I definitely want you to tell the people where to find you at.
Yeah, give them that elevator pitch.
Yeah, and you know, if a person trying right now and they on the come up and they really want to get to the next level, just, you know, give them advice what they should do.
Man, first and foremost, if you want to come up and you want to get to the next level and you want to build a business that profits, you need to go to howtoscaleyou.com. HOWTOSCALE.com. Download my free ebook. It's a 3-step process that'll help you not only become the best marketer you can be, but it's going to help you build a brand and skyrocket your sales. It's an easy read. I usually sell it for $30. I'm giving it away right now. Go get that while you can, and that'll put you in my ecosystem, and that'll give you a chance for us to have a conversation or consultation. But that's the best way. You know, of course, if you type my name in on any social media, Gilberto Herrera, you'll be able to find me. But the best thing that you can do is get that free resource. You know, I put all my years of marketing, branding, and sales experience into one easy-to-read ebook. And pound for pound, it's better than 99.9% of all the stuff that's out there. I know that.
Ooh, put some fire behind it.
I know that because I bought most of them.
You did.
So I really put something out there that people charge thousands of dollars for in an ebook that I'm giving away for free.
Y'all go check the
Hey,
ebook
man,
out right
that's
now, man.
excellent
It's
right
free
there.
$99. You have no excuse. Go check that out. Oh, sorry. Follow me. Tell me where you at, bro.
At Gilberto Herrera on all social medias. GilbertoHerrera.
Hey, man, icebreakers. Listen, tell them where to find them. Where to find you as well.
You can find me ct.financeme, FINANCEME. Shoot, that's on all social media platforms. You can also go to my website, Lancaster LLC, LandCasterLLC.com. I'll teach you about credit, all the tips and trips, all stuff, no fluff. None other.
There you go. There you have it, man. Shouts out to everybody who locked in. Polar Joqs. Make sure y'all follow on all social media platforms. Well, also we giving game and value to you, man. So it's free 99, you know. And also hit that subscribe button if we are helping you.
For sure, man. Icebreakers. Make sure you hit that like button. Comment down below anything that you want to talk about pertaining to this video.
So what platform we on right now?
Right now we on Polar Joqs for YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to break this down,
So
put it on YouTube as well as, you know, all other social media platforms,
Right.
Facebook.
And we live on YouTube. That's what's up.
Find us
Y'all
on Buzzsprout as well. You know.
Yeah, man. Find us
audio.
everywhere, bro.
So we getting super chats yet?
Super chats, not yet, but
We
we're going to
recommend-
get those real
yeah,
soon.
yeah,
We got to
yeah.
get the super chats coming
Man,
in.
We tweaking them.
Y'all hit that subscribe button ASAP. If you're getting some value out of this conversation, if you're getting some value out of what they doing, not only that, man, these guys bring you valuable people and valuable content every single day in every aspect of life, business, personal, you name it. Because I'm definitely tuned in. And that's why I say, like, the content is on the next level. And y'all do great. And then you listen to this man's voice, bro.
Appreciate
Come on,
it,
now, where
dog.
else you gonna get that?
$1 million
Already.
I told $1 million voice.
Hey,
Right.
man, I'm already
$1
knowing.
million voice in the building, man. You know.
We lit.
Shout out. I mean, damn. Appreciate y'all once again, man. Shout out. And I'll see y'all next episode. We'll see you next episode. And we go.
Keep it cool, keep it smooth.